Estate Hustlers podcast. I'm your host, Josh Appleman, founder and CEO of Appleman Properties. Today, we're talking life by design with Alex Tam. Dr. Alex is a chiropractor and clinical director turned successful real estate investor. Now he uses his expertise to guide others in business growth and real estate investments, fostering work-life balance, generational wealth. Alex, we appreciate you coming on today. And if you could, just let everyone know a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, Josh, thank you for having me on. I started my career as a chiropractor back in 2009. So it's been about 14 years since I've had the medical practice. In 2016, we fully integrated into a medical practice. And then in 2018, I started really my real estate journey started when I went to a 10X Grant Cardone conference to really boost my business, boost my knowledge. And it was the first time he talked about syndications. I've never heard of syndications before. So it was very intriguing. We started investing with Cardone and then found on Bigger Pockets some other syndicators. And in 2021, we decided, my wife and I said, you know what, we need to be active in this instead of just being limited partners. So we joined a mastermind educational group. And in 2022, we started really, closing deals. We do our GPs in 3 deals, and we have 5 JVs under our belt so far. But then one of the big inspirations on why we wanted to become active is because other friends who were doctors were asking me about what I was doing as a limited partner. Now, Josh, I'm sure as a limited partner, I can only direct so much, right? I can only tell them, hey, check out this website, check out that website. And eventually I said, if I'm going to really advise people on what I've done and just tell them about why I do it, I need to know a little bit more. And that's why we decided to become active in it. And it's been great since.
Yeah, that's incredible. You've discovered real estate syndication early on, and you dove in and got the right people together, and you're taking down great deals, and you can invite your friends in along for the journey. That's huge. And you have an active chiropractor business as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, the medical practice is it's very active. We're there. It's 4/10s. So the practice is open 4 days a week, 10-hour shifts. I'm there about 2.5 to 3 days. We also have, actually last year we just started a virtual assistant agency business as well. So we have about 35 to 40 active virtual assistants that work for other clients. Myself and I started with a virtual assistant back in 2016, and now we have 11 full-time virtual assistants that work for me. So
what do these virtual assistants do? I know the impact of what they can do, but what do they specifically do for your business?
Josh, to tell you how it got started was back in 2016 was someone told me I need to be involved with Facebook, right? And start making videos and whatnot. And I would spend hours on the weekends making videos and editing them, right? Making newsletters. I would spend 4 or 5 hours on Friday and Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings as well. We found a virtual assistant. She worked phenomenally. We took over she took over the graphics and work design, but then also the marketing aspect, like paid ads as well. So I put one of them through an online marketing school that I put myself through and started doing in-house marketing. Eventually started an agency that do it for a few other doctors now. But ultimately, when people hear me, Alex, you have 11, what do they all do? Right? I have ones that book me on your shows, on podcasts. I have one that, book people on my show, right? The Life by Design podcast. I have ones that work with specifically the medical practice, intake phone calls, do ads, social media for real estate, social media for the virtual assistant, so all of them combined. And on top of that, 2 video editors that's really what they do. They're my innovation video specialists. So we really have a good team. What I've decided is one of the big things I bring to the table, Josh, is I will turn an idea into reality in a much shorter time than anyone else can because we have the team for it.
Yeah, that's the magic ingredient is speed to the market. If you can get the connect the dots and get it to the market faster than anyone, that's you've already won the game.
Right.
And going back to VA's virtual assistants, we're trying to buy time so that we can achieve what we're after. And I task myself to death, and I look for ways that I can offload those tasks to others. And I've got a virtual assistant that we do for real estate hustlers, and it's great.
Uh-huh.
It gets to a point where you just can't be everywhere at once doing these things. So I know the impact of virtual assistants and how useful they can be. 100%. Getting back to the real estate, the syndication. Can you tell us what your first deal was, how you found it, what you did to bring all the pieces together to realize it's going to be a syndication deal, and then how you brought the team together to take the property down?
Yeah, so we really joined a team to take this property down. The first one that we did was because we were in the mastermind, they were already, there were people in there taking down deals. And there was a KP that dropped off from the deal. And someone posted on the mastermind, hey, we need a KP on our team. One of the KPs dropped off. And, I see it as you got to take action, right? A lot of people in the chat were like, oh yeah, email me the details, email me this, email me that. It was the night before, it was December 30th. Okay. The day before New Year's Eve. So everyone's busy. It was a weekend. I looked at my wife. I said, this could be a great opportunity. I just chatted with these people. They're in the mastermind. We know them. I'm going to give them a call, right? Instead, I called them up right away. Within 20 minutes, we already got all the information. The next day, we said, you know what? We're good for it. Let's jump in. And one of the biggest things was we wanted to get in that year to get the cost segregation for that year.
Nice. Yeah. That was when 100% cost segregation was still, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all about taking action. The other GP deals that we're partners with, it's very similar things. People that we've built a relationship with, what I've realized is that relationship is bigger than anything.
Yeah.
In real estate. At the beginning, I thought it was just all about the numbers, all about the location and whatnot. And those matter. But what really matters is it's a relationship that you've built with people. And now people come to us, because we have shown what we've been able to do, over time. And they really like partnering with us. And there's a few people that we really like partnering with.
Yeah. And that's trust is built on performance. You've got to earn it, and that's through your actions. And going back to taking action, we need at least just 80% of the information, and go ahead and learn the rest. You can't learn it all. You have to take action and actually do it. There's going to be mistakes along the way, but you put yourself in a bubble and protect the deal as much as possible. But then you get better on the next one, and the next one it becomes easier and bigger. But what you said, relationships, that's key. You'll get deals in real estate that no one else will see, and no one else will even know that you've closed based on just relationships. It's and it's the brokers or whomever, they know that you can close, and they know that you're a good general partnership, and then they'll send you more. That's a part of it. So you've got 3 syndications, is that correct?
Correct.
Got it. And has any of these been done this year, or are you still looking for more deals?
Oh, we're looking for more deals. Those 3 were done last year. We almost we got one under contract this year, but it didn't work out as well as we thought it was going to be. So we're going to continue looking. There's a JV Cop opportunity that just came up. So we're pretty excited about that one as well.
Yeah, and the more established your team is, everyone brings a certain element to the table. The bigger the deals can go down, and the more successful the deal becomes. People, when you have your weekly talks and your weekly discussions going over the property performance, someone else's perspective can turn the property in a different direction, and
absolutely,
and put performance in place. It's huge.
Absolutely.
So yeah. Can you tell us about how your chiropractor business, how that's affected your real estate business, and maybe how it influences it?
Huge, because we have a team in the practice. There's another doctor, right? We have 2 nurse practitioners and then a full staff of assistants. So what happens is it has allowed me to learn about marketing, sales, relationships, and people, right? And those are some key things. So coming into real estate, it was like a blessing, we found out that, wow, real estate, it's really like another business. You're running it just like another business,
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I can do that. We have standard operating procedures in the practice. You need standard operating procedures, right? In the real estate business, we have VAs over there. You need VAs over here. So it's really, it's when you've done business for a while, this is another business. And if you take the same integrity, the same work ethic, right, the same details that you do in running another business, this is going to work out. You just got to learn the real estate part of it.
Yeah, that's a 100%, and being able to pivot quickly and take those issues that every business has issues. Every business is a people business, whether in different forms. Yeah, in real estate, you can take a passive approach like you have, and take the back seat and let the operators take it. But the operators are shielding the limited partners from all of the things that come in, the issues. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing, hopefully. But there's components, major components in both of business and doing good business, making sure that the expenses are online and taking away the erroneous expenses that are not needed. We've learned that you put people in front of you like property management, sometimes they'll pay to make problems go away versus really taking care of the problem. They'll use that the property's cash to just essentially throw money out the door. Whereas an operator, a good business owners, we see those as opportunities to recapture some value and make the property perform even better. So it's but having that business experience mentality is huge, and it definitely segues over to multifamily for sure.
Right. I mean, at the beginning when we first took down the first deal, because of my marketing background and with Facebook and Google, we were able to help with that. And then, our team and my wife was able to build websites for every deal that we're part of.
Nice.
So really give that property a like a public eye into it. It's not just on apartments.com. When you Google search it, it's right there.
Yeah.
Give it more credibility that way.
Yeah, that's perfect. You put you bring it to the next level. Someone else didn't get it there. Now you're coming in and you're taking it to the next level, adding value and making it more valuable just on perception. So tell us what drives you, what keeps you going. You've got the chiropractor business going, you've got syndications going, you just stood up another business, you've got VAs, managing VAs, I'm sure. So
yeah.
what drives you? What's the motivation behind the scenes?
The what drives me is having the freedom to be with my family. On the days that I'm not working, we know that the team is able to handle things, right? Building a system to be able to do this. Really, I've become more motivated ever since I've had my daughter, and she's 10 years old now. And it's one of those things when you're on your own, right? If it was just me and my wife, yeah, we're doing okay. But if we start thinking about generational wealth, what we're going to be able to do for her and teaching her how to do it. What I've seen in a lot of wealthy families is when they just pass it on to kids, the kids don't know how to manage this stuff. They don't know how to manage a business, right? So we're really teaching her, bringing her to real estate conferences. She's been to 3, 2 last year and 1 this year. So really that's why we're doing this, to be able to have that time freedom, that financial freedom, and hopefully one day location freedom.
Yeah, that's perfect. And we're all programmed. We're programmed by how we were brought up, and those beliefs and this and that, and how we can expand our kids now that we know what we do know, and get them on a different path, or maybe a path of real estate. To me, all things lead back to real estate, and I use that in different businesses. If we want to approach Airbnb, all right, it's a much more operational intensive business. Yes. Yeah, there's real estate behind the scenes, but it's still an operating business on the front end. You're dealing with a lot of people, and that's what I want to get into next with you. But the people that you're counting on to show up and to be there day to day to keep your business operating is intense, and people can disappoint just by not doing what they say they're going to do. How do you handle? How do you keep the right people in your chiropractor business? How do you handle that?
The people aspect is the biggest piece, right? I think the first thing is when you hire a person, you have to make sure that your mission, vision, and values are aligning with theirs.
Yeah.
For example, we're hiring a staff member in our medical practice right now. And if they don't have a natural health mindset, right, then it's going to be really hard for them. If they believe that you should take drugs for everything instead of trying to allow the body to give the body everything that it needs to heal itself, we're going to have a problem. So number one is alignment, right? It's similar to if you get a property manager you bring in, who knows how to operate a property correctly, but then if your mindset is, hey, we should figure things out before we replace it, like a gate, for example, a sliding gate. A car runs into it. Well, do you fix it or do you just replace it? You need somebody who's going to just be able to figure things out.
Yeah.
But the next step, once you hire them, is 60 to 90 days out, you have to go over their personal, professional, and financial goals. Because if they're going to do it for your business, you better know what they need to know that they're going to get out of it as well.
Yeah.
Right. And what they want to get out of this. It really is a two-way exchange. And when you pour into people, they're going to automatically pour back into you.
Yeah, that's great. And you've got your pillars of your company, and your pillars are people, and them showing up and instilling the message that you're putting out there. It's top down effect. It truly is. And how the better that they care about the business, the more engaged that they are, the better. Yes. They will like the values, they like what we're standing for, the overall goal, the mission, and how we're getting there. Everyone wins. Everyone succeeds on the way up. You still have to interview maybe 10 or 20 to get to those people. It's the way it is. Not everyone's going to align. Growth is tough, but once you find those players that are going to be the pillars of your company, you can grow rapidly. You can grow very rapidly, and you've got people that are self-thinkers in front of you, people that are smarter than you in different categories. It's what we're looking for.
Right.
I like it. So what makes you excited about everything going on? We know what keeps you going. What's the excitement?
The excitement, it's part of it. It's the unknown. Part of it, it's like, okay, we got plans, but then new things always come up, right? And sometimes they're good. Sometimes they're not very good. Depends on how you look at it. I look at things that other people see as negative as an opportunity for something else. Right. And I believe that that's how we should be looking at things. It's not whether they're good or bad. It's more like, well, these are things that are going well, and these are things that we can have an opportunity to do better at. Right. But ultimately, there's this business side that excites, but there's the family side, to bring it back full circle. That's what's really exciting to me, to be able to, on a Friday morning, go look at some wild horses in the hills, drive our truck out there and just go off road, to be able to do things with our team, right? To celebrate wins with them. Our virtual team, one day, probably next year, I'll be going to the Philippines, right? And working with my core team. I said, we're going to have a few days where we work at a special location, instead of you guys just working at home. Maybe we'll book out a few rooms or resort or whatnot and be able to do things like that. So being able to have new experiences in life, that's what excites me.
Yeah, that's tough. So life by design, I feel like you figured out the blueprint. Did you write it down? Did you write daily goals, weekly goals, yearly goals? Talk about that with us a little bit.
So when I first realized the power of real estate, I said, okay, you read the financial independence or what wealth means. And I've been told years ago, when your passive income can reach your expenses, that's financial independence. You're no longer dependent on your active job. I said, wow, that's really cool. I didn't really know about this concept. And when we were investing as LPs, we weren't, no one really taught us that. But in 2021, I said, I made a goal that in 2022, that we're going to do enough investments where the passive income from investing, everything outside of the medical practice, is going to cover our expenses. right? And then as we were doing real estate, sparks up this virtual assistant business that came out of nowhere. It was another real estate partner that we met. And she says, Alex, you ever thought of having a virtual assistant business? We have a lot of virtual assistants that are needed by real estate professionals. And I said, I never thought about that. So boom, come fast forward to October of 2022. We wrote down that number back in 2021. This is our expenses, right? This is financial independence, but this is what we really want to get to, because this number will support all of our trips and everything else that we want to do. October of 2022, we surpassed this number. And we've almost doubled this financial independence number. And we're working towards that. Hey, this is what it's going to take. But now it's more like, wow, what else can we do? How else can we serve other people more? Whether it's health or in helping other doctors learn more about financial independence, because most of the doctors friends that I know, they're in the grind, right? They make a lot of money. They buy a boat, they buy a house, they buy this, they buy that. And then when I go to conferences, they see all the social media and the postings that I do. Just the last conference we went to, we had 10 doctors that came up to me and says, Alex, I want to know more. When you have a deal, let me know. And I said, the minimum's $100,000. They were like, we're good for that. I said, I know you're good. Are you ready for it? They're like, I'm ready. I said, great, let's do it then. So we're updating people, and it's just fun. I'm excited to see where this can actually go.
Yeah, I think that it's eye-opening once you figured out that the transactional income is a trap. The more transactional income you make, the more stuff you get. The more stuff you get, the more transactional income you need. So
you feel like you have to make.
Right. And it's just a trap, and you're trading time for money, and you only have so much time to give. So it's I think that's the major bridge when you go into multifamily or just real estate in general, is that is still there. It's still there producing. So it's just but once you have that mind shift, it's changing.
Yeah. It's really having that mind shift, like you said, Josh. It's having someone tell you that that's possible. It's doable. Other people are doing it. And when I heard about it, I said, what? Other people, this is possible? My parents both worked till they were 60. My dad passed away when he was 52, but my mom worked till she was 60, in their 65.
Yeah.
Most people do. Then you read about, that 65 retirement number was all made up. People work until even a later age, but then there's people in the world that chooses to work.
Yeah.
Not that they have to.
Just passionate about it. Just
passionate about it, right? I saw that you had Travis Watts on your podcast, and I remember talking to him one time. I said, Travis, you're in so many syndication. You're like a professional passive investor. I said, why do you still do this? He said, man, the difference is I get to do it now. He says, I don't have to. I get to.
That's huge.
And that was such a powerful statement. I remember till this day.
And it's true. It's you go out there and you go walk as many properties as you want, and you can just keep on building on what you've got. It's a major play. So what is your all's buy box? What are you all looking for in real estate? Is there a unit size? What are we looking for?
I mean, in terms of JVs, it's really anything, right? JVs, partnerships. We really like the Midwest a lot, along the Nebraska, Omaha, Lincoln, Indianapolis, Cincinnati. We're really heavily looking in those areas.
Yeah.
KC is another good area. We've always liked it. Even when the other markets were hot, we liked these areas. They were good, cash flowing, stable areas. And for me, my thing is not try to get rich quick, right? It's like
real estate won't get you rich quick.
It's not a get rich quick thing.
Yeah.
So I like steady, incremental, build a nice solid foundation. When we do syndications, 50, 100, 100 plus, up to about 200 is what we're looking at.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's are you looking for population or I guess job growth, the
Oh
demographics?
yeah. I
Okay.
mean, ultimately, all these areas have not only job growth, but population growth
Yeah.
as well. And then we also look at the stability of these companies in the areas.
Yeah.
Are they just a whole bunch of startups, right? Or have they been the staple of these areas for a long time?
Yeah.
And then
Established.
that's established. That's the key thing, you
Yeah.
know.
Well, and you'll see these markets just pop up, and you've got major growth. But what comes up must come down eventually. Texas is still riding hard, but you've got other pockets, submarkets that they'll pop, and then they'll you get excited and they'll go away. You gotta just like you've got the Midwest. Stability. It doesn't necessarily need to be a hot market. Just look for stable markets, things that have been proven over 20 years.
Right, right.
So,
That's what we like. And I believe that our investors like that as well.
yeah, for sure.
Because the ones that go up really quick, there's volatility in those areas. And I don't like to mess with that, especially with other people's money.
Totally. So you're on a Real Estate Hustlers podcast. What makes you a real estate hustler?
I think ultimately it's the go-getting mentality. You got to go get it. The hustling in general sometimes gets a bad rap, right? Depending on who you talk to. But really, it's, are you going to go for it? Are you going to take action and really go for it? And I think that's what being a hustler is about.
Yeah.
But of course, hip hop and rap, sometimes they give it a bad rap. But ultimately, we all of us who are in business, we have to hustle.
You have to. Yeah.
You have to hustle, because if you don't, other
Somebody else
people are going to pass you by.
That's right.
Right. So you got to always act like no matter how successful you get, there's a target on your back, because someone's gunning for you.
Oh, yeah.
Until they pass you, you got to be gunning for someone else, or you got to just be, if you're the best at what you do, just keep running faster, right?
Yeah.
Be more innovative. Like part of our team is we look at innovations. Every month we look at, okay, so what's new? What's new? At least every quarter, what's new out there? What's new, right? Someone finds a new idea, gets a new idea. Hey, we should try this. Oh, dang, let's test it out. Test it out for 3 months, see where it goes.
Oh, yeah. 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 And our major identifiers, if we're creating new problems, we're going in the right direction. And somebody is willing to take these problems from us.
Yes.
But hustling is the element to a successful organization. You have to keep it going. Someone else will take it away at overnight. If not, unfortunately, that's just the way it is. Wherever the herd goes, you gotta be on defense. But Alex, you've been a great guest, man. We truly appreciate you here on a Saturday. Wealth of knowledge. If somebody wants to learn more about yourself or get a hold of you, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, LinkedIn is probably the best way to get a hold of me. Dr. Alex Tam on LinkedIn. You can ring me on my cell phone as well, or shoot me a text, 717. Well, it's a 775-717-0090.
Perfect.
And we'll go from there.
Awesome. I appreciate your time. We will certainly talk soon.
Yeah, Josh, thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.